Kelly,
Hi.
how you doing?
Good. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Are you in your new office yet?
No,
All right. So, okay, yeah, I haven't got an update on, huh?
it's in progress.
In progress. Man, can't wait to get that up and running. And
I'm super excited to have that when we get there.
yeah, the live events there will be amazing. So,
Yes.
hey, you've been a part of the EXP for a short while now. What does your just real estate business look like today?
Okay. Buyers and sellers, it's about 50-50, honestly,
Mhm.
buyers and sellers. And most of my business in the past has been off of referrals. I'm starting to do some cold marketing finally. Just trying to get out there into the cold market. But most of my business comes from my warm market, and I do about 50 to 60 transactions a year.
Yeah, and then we've got to reconnect. You were out of town, but that marketing tool that I mentioned, a prospecting tool, like you're going to be able to just crush it with that. It's a nice proprietary uh,
Awesome.
uh, marketing tool that really no one else has access to.
I'm looking forward
So
to that too.
for now, but yeah, you'll be able to crush it. Well, how were you introduced to EXP?
So another agent brought me. Actually, the first time I heard about EXP was I went to one of yours and Brant's events. I think that was the first time you guys did something, some kind of investor meeting, meetup training thing that I went to, and that was kind of my first introduction, I believe.
Okay, yeah, I think it was one of the workshops
Mm-hmm.
on flipping or raising private money.
Or wholesaling or private money. I think it might have been private money.
Private money, yeah.
That was right when I started flipping and I didn't know, how to approach people. And so, yeah.
All right.
And you guys did like a little thing at the end, and that was kind of the
Uh-huh.
first time I'd heard about it.
So how has it impacted your business?
So I've been with EXP for 5 months now, since March 1st. I capped in 3 months. And so now I'm working towards Icon. And so that is like, for me right now where I am, that's probably the most exciting thing, because I can see, that getting my cap back in stock coming in the future, so I'm busting it and working towards that. So I'm year one, and every year until I retire, I'll be Icon agent. So
Did you opt into the agent equity program?
yes.
So, so
Sure.
yeah, if you don't know the agent equity program, or it's optional, but I think it's one of the most undervalued benefits with EXP. It's like a 401k where you can take 5% of your commission to buy stock at a 10% discount. So you're basically getting an asset below value, which that's a win any day. But more importantly for you, Kelly, like you were able to accumulate a whole bunch of that
Yes.
before the stock just recently started taking off.
Yes.
So I imagine that's been nice to watch.
It's exciting. So I actually was talking to my husband about this just a couple days ago, because I went back last Monday and I was just looking because I was curious of where I was. So I was looking at my stocks on Monday, and so I know, what that number was, and then then it started to take off last week, and I just kind of watched it grow, just in 1 week, and I'm like, this is like a savings account. In 5 months, I have saved like, of course I'm not going to take it out anytime soon, and it'll just continue to grow over the years. But I didn't even have that opportunity, where I was before at all. So there was nobody to help me figure out what I'm going to do, what I'm going to live off of to retire. So, in
Yeah.
5 months, it's just been, I'm building a nest egg, and I can already see it like growing. So it's really exciting.
And that's, I mean, of course, we don't know. I mean, stock could be up or down on any day to day. Stock does what stock does.
Sure.
It's partially why I'm in real estate. But here's what it comes down to. After 10 years in this business, like if you're going to make a career out of the business, 5, 10, 20 years, like when your time's done at every other brokerage, your business, when you retire or you have to retire, maybe due to just circumstance,
Right.
your business has zero market value anywhere else. So
Right.
that's a lot. Like, you know this better than I do. Like,
It's a hamster wheel. It's honestly a hamster wheel. And it was it's when you're doing the retail side of it, which I love the retail side, I love helping clients. Like I won't retire. I don't know when. If I'll probably retire when I die. Like honestly, I'll probably be one of those people that just works until I'm gone. So, but because I love that side of it, but only having that side is a complete hamster wheel. And it was like I felt like I got out of corporate America to get out of the hamster wheel, but I got on another hamster wheel, just making more money, And now I feel like I'm working towards a long term and a big vision where eventually I can slow down, when I decide I want to.
Yeah, so. You're building plan B, or not necessarily plan B. You're building your exit strategy or a retirement, even though if you don't officially retire, you choose when and how you work.
Right.
So hey, you want to take a 4-month trek through Europe in when COVID goes away, you can do that. Not have to worry about anything.
And like Ian said, I did read Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was one of the first books that I read when I really became entrepreneurial minded. And I've always wanted to get there, get to where I have multiple streams of income, and I'm not just relying on one thing, because with building the stock, with building the revenue share, which I'm working hard on, with building those, it's like if I get sick or something, I don't have to freak out because I'm not going to have a commission for a couple months, or something like that. It's having that comfort level of not having to struggle from, only having one income coming in one way.
Yeah. So. Glenn Sanford told a story, and I don't remember the agent's name, but he was from what I recall, he was like overseas traveling, got hurt, didn't have health insurance. Like he's like out of the business for a period of time. But for him, it was revenue share, gave him a few $1,000s a month, which a lot of them pay bills, which was essential. Otherwise, you're kind of facing bankruptcy. So that's what allowed him to sustain until he can get back on his feet. But whether it's an emergency situation like that or a purposeful pullback, or you just want to go on a 3-month vacation, it's options.
Right.
The business can be fun, or it is fun. Mm-hmm. It's sexy at times, but it's draining. It's it can be very stressful. Yeah. And you're not going to want to do it at this intensity.
Right. I see that coming. I'm in my early 40s, but I can feel like life is changing, and eventually I'm going to have to slow down, because I'm like 90 to nothing all day, every day. So, and I'm talking about like pounding the streets, selling houses, so it's a lot of work. So eventually I am going to have to slow down. And that was what is so exciting to me about EXP, is just having the option to build different revenue streams where, I can control my life, and I don't feel like I have to get out there and go 90 to nothing, when I'm 90. So
what should other agents consider when looking at EXP Realty? Because your perspective is different. Like you're you're traditional agent, very successful with a very reputable brand before. And that was important to you. And you were also very good friends with your broker, still friends with your former broker, and friends with a lot of people in your office. So it was a big change that took time.
Yes.
So, and that's most successful agents are like you. Like most of them aren't going to be just night and day. Hey, today I'm switching. Right. It's going to take time. So what do you say to those agents when like they would consider it? How do you approach that conversation?
So, you're exactly right. It took me about a year before I finally moved over, because I had to wrap my mind around everything. I had a lot of questions. I know, I met with you and Brant like 2 or 3 times, I believe, to go through the numbers and like, okay, explain this to me, explain that to me, because, I was very comfortable. So to get me out of that comfort zone, I wanted all my questions answered. I wanted to make sure that I knew exactly what I was getting into, to make the best business decision I could. So I would say make sure that whoever you're talking to at EXP, ask them all the questions that you have, get all of your questions answered, make sure that you're joining a line that you feel like, your values align in what your business is. So that was another thing that really drew me in with you guys, is that you are all investors. So that was in the very beginning when I wanted to start flipping houses. And now, I've done a hard money deal with, somebody in our upline, and I bought a house from you that you ended up wholesaling. So it's like, we're all kind of in that same boat of what we're trying to do with our career. So that was important. So check your upline that you're talking to, make sure it's, something that's going to fit with what you're wanting to do with your business. And then, I would say just take the time that you need to, but do your research and really compare and take the emotion out of it. It came to a period of time where it was like, I just felt like it was the right time. So, I think we all know, we have that sense of intuition of when we know, okay, I need to do this. And I have another agent that I've been talking to, and he's just like, I don't know why I haven't joined yet. I'm supposed to be there. I know I'm supposed to be there. I'm like, well, come on, but don't let your own self get in your way. It's like, if once it makes really good sense to you, which it will eventually, if you listen to it, I just don't understand why it wouldn't, but just do it.
You said it before, comfort. So
yeah,
the biggest thing that gets in the way of a great life is a good life.
Right. You're right.
And now that was me in a totally different situation. But I understood that getting out of college, I didn't continue investing. Had a really, really good sales job. It was a job, and I should have bought houses. Then I finally kind of figured that out. I got married, changed plans, and started building the great life. But for agents, especially if they're very comfortable, they've been with their brand, their broker for a while, everything's kind of humming along, but not still looking for opportunity.
Right.
It can always be improved.
Right.
And every once in a while, something great comes along where that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer.
And I knew when I first listened to the presentation, like I knew eventually I was going to get there because I could just see it. I could just see the value. And I am one of those people that's always looking for the next thing. I'm always looking for like, how can I grow? How can I change this? How can I, what's something else I could do? Now that I have this under control, like what else can I add? But so I knew I was going to come over. It just took me time to get there. And I think that's just a normal process for everybody because it's such a big decision to make.
Yeah, I mean, it takes the time, but be patient. Like,
right.
If you're talking with agents that they need the time, let them have time. Be patient. Continue to support them, and when the time comes, they'll be over. So,
blow up, right? I'm learning that.
All right, Kelly. Hey, it's been fun working with you. Look forward to seeing your office whenever it's done, and your flip when that gets on the market. I want to tour that.
Yep. Once we get that Ted and Hall house sold, then we're hot and heavy on the office. So.
All right.
Here to it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Talk to you later.
You too. Take care.